Hello students, we are on the chapter unit 1. In this chapter we study on classification, nomenclature and isomerism. In this chapter so far we studied definition of organic chemistry, sources of organic chemistry, differences between organic and inorganic compounds, classification of organic compounds, functional groups, different systems of nomenclature, that is common name and IUPAC naming system. So in that we studied in the last class general rules for IUPAC system. In today's class we will study about nomenclature of alkanes. So alkanes are hydrocarbons, means they will have carbon and hydrogen. Here carbon, they have the bond, single bond, only single bond will be there, and this single bond is a covalent bond. It's a covalent bond. Single bond is covalent bond, right? And they will be there in the molecule in a specific format. They will have a formula CnH2n plus 2. That means if you have one carbon, for the hydrogen you will have double that carbon. If it is one, the double the carbon plus you will have two more hydrogen. So these many number of hydrogens will be there. You go with the methane, the smallest molecule in the alkanes, methane. So you have one carbon, and then this is going to be 4, right? So this is going to be 4, and then you have 4 different hydrogens there. So all of these alkanes, they follow this formula CnH2n plus 2. And here are the examples of those, and also the naming on these. One with one carbon, so that we call that as methane. And we this is actually common system. We in all the classes we are going to study both the common system and IUPAC system. Okay, now I am talking about the common system. If it has got, alkane has got one carbon, then we call that as methane. This is the molecular formula. This is the structural form. And this structural formula, as I told you, we can write like this also. You can expand the structure. You can expand the structure. Right. If it has got 2 carbon, then it is ethane, molecular formula and structural formula. If it is 3 carbon, it is propane. If it is 4 carbon, it is butane. If it is 5 carbon, it is pentane. If it is 6 carbon, it is hexane. If it is 7 carbon, it is heptane. If it is 8 carbon, it is octane. If it is 9 carbon, it is nonane. And if it is 10 carbon, it is decane. These 4 names are common, like they got it from earlier days, and the remaining penta, hexa, hepta, octa, nona and deca, these they came from Greek words. They came from Greek words. That is how we name the alkane. So we have certain terms that we use. Suppose the question is like, what if they are branched? They can be straight chain, or they can be even branched a chain. If it is straight chain, so that is something normal, right? So we give the prefix n. We give the prefix n before that alkane. So for example, here this particular structure, it has got 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. That is it is butane. but there may be types of butane. It can be branched here. See, I can write this butane like this also. 3 carbon and 4 carbon. This is also butane. If it is a straight chain, we call that as a N-butane. And similarly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbons here, and it is straight chain. That's why it is a N-pentane. Now, as I told you, if it is branched, so what are we going to name that? For example, here, compare these two. So how many carbons are there in each of those? This has got 5 carbon, right? And this has also got 5 carbon. Now, how many hydrogens are there? How many hydrogens in here? This has got 12 hydrogens, and this has got 12 hydrogens. Are they not same then? They are same, right? So their molecular formula says they are same. So, but you see the structure here. The structures are different. The structures between these two are different, right? When they have same molecular formula but different structures, they are called as isomers. They are called as isomers. So depending on this, we are going to name them. So how are we going to name them? It's like if the methyl group or the alkyl group or methyl group, if it is attached to the second last carbon. So this is first carbon, this is a second carbon, this is where it is attached. So here, this is the first carbon, this is second carbon, so this is second last carbon, this is second last carbon. You cannot consider from this side. This is one first carbon, second carbon. This will become third carbon if you count from this side. So you have to count from this side. So this will become second last carbon. So when methyl group is attached to this second last carbon, then we give the iso for that compound. We give the name iso for that alkene. This is actually butane, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 carbons, so it is butane. In butane, the methyl group is attached to the second last carbon. That's why it is isobutane. So this is pentane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So in this, the methyl group is attached to the second last carbon, so it is a isopentane. What if the two methyl groups, they are attached to the same carbon? So in these structures, suppose in this structure itself, suppose if I bring this methyl group over here, that means two methyl group at the same place, right? Then how do you name those? So in that case, so which have two methyl groups attached to the second last carbon. If the two methyl groups are attached to the second last carbon again, there it was one last carbon, one group to the one methyl group to the second last carbon. Here two methyl groups to the second last carbon. So in that case, we name that as neo. We give the prefix neo. So in this case, it is actually pentane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So it is pentane. In pentane, it is a neopentane. Here it is hexane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is hexane. But in hexane, it is a neohexane. Then we have to, when the alkane, we have, when this alkane, if it is a side chain, if it is a group, so how do you name that? So if you remove the hydrogen, this is general formula for alkane. Okay, R is nothing but hydrocarbon chain. R is hydrocarbon chain. You have to remove hydrogen, then it will become alkyl group. That name will be like alkyl group. So from alkane, you are removing one hydrogen, that is alkyl. So similarly with the names methane, if you remove one hydrogen from that, so it will become like a methyl group. The name given will be methyl group. So it will, how it will be done? So you have alkane and you are going to remove this A and E. You are going to remove A and E, right? And instead of that, you are going to replace that with the YL. So the name will be like alkyl. That group will be alkyl. So now we will look at the example where alkyl groups are attached to the straight chain. So these are the examples. So when it is in case of methane, if methane is side chain, so that is methyl, right? We call that as methyl. When ethane is a side chain or a group, then it is a ethyl. So it goes like this. And propane, in this there are two types. One is a straight chain, right? Straight chain is attached, then it is N-propane. When it is the second last carbon is attached, then it is a isopropyl. The next is N-butane. When it is straight chain, it is N-butyl. So when the second last carbon is attached, here we call that as a secondary butyl. Here we call that as a secondary butyl. Here the secondary butyl, it is used as a side chain, right? It is used as a functional group. Where from this secondary name came? So we have already studied this, right? If we are pointing out the second carbon, or if the carbon is attached to two different carbons, that is secondary carbon, right? It came from here. So the one which is attached, which has got the attachment here, it is connected to the two different carbon. That's why it is a secondary butyl group. Similarly, in this isobutane, in case of isobutane, if it is attached from here, from this side, from this end, it is isobutyl. If it is attached from the carbon which is attached to three different carbon, like which is here, when it is attached to three different carbon, it is tertiary, right? That position is tertiary. Here we can say the tertiary position is attached. That's why the group is called a tertiary butyl. Right, that is about common names, and now we will go for IUPAC name. And IUPAC name, as you know, it is a systematic name. We have to go step by step to name them. So they have the rules for each of the groups, each of the compounds, like how to name them. So we will go through those rules one by one. Before that, you know, the IUPAC names are named like using the formula prefix plus root plus suffix. We join them together and we name the compound. We will try to give name for this using the IUPAC name for alkanes. So this is our compound. So we are going to name this, and we are also going to follow the rules. Let's go with the first rule. The first rule says name the longest chain. So you have to name the longest chain. So which is the longest chain? Is that here, this one, this is also a chain, right? Or this one. So this is the longest chain. This is the longest chain. You have to name this chain. So what is the name of this chain? How many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 carbons. So we are going to name this as butane. So butane. Here butane is going to be parent chain, or we call that as parent name. Butane is parent name. It is also the root name now. So it is the root name and it is the parent name. You observe the difference between this naming and the common naming. If it is common naming, we would have named this as pentane. we would have named this as pentane because there are 5 carbons. These are 4 on the straight chain, and there is one more carbon here, fifth carbon. So we would have named this as pentane, but in IUPAC name, we are not going to do that. We are giving the parent name only for the straight chain, right? So let's go to the second rule. That is the first rule, name the longest chain. Second rule, number the longest chain. So after naming, you are going to number the longest chain. So now the problem is, are you going to number from this side to this side, or from this side to this side, or from this side to this side? So which way you are supposed to name? So you have to name in such a way that the attached group is given the lowest number. You have to name in such a way that the attached group is given the lowest number. Let me name from this side to this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me number from this side also, 1, 2, I'm talking about this carbon, 2, 3, and 4. So which way am I going to number now? The attached group should have the lowest number. So here this attached group has got number 2, and in this case the attached group has got number 3. So we have to consider this one because it has got the lowest number. So this butane is like so which group is attached here? We have to name that also. Which group is attached? That is a methyl group. So we have 2 methyl group that is attached. We have 2 methyl group that is attached. All right, this is the second rule, that is number the longest chain. Then third one, locate and name the substituent. Locate and name the substituent. Actually, I have already done that over there. So that is 2-methyl. 2-methyl. So we are going to locate the number that is at the second position, numbering from here 1, 2, 3, 4, second position, and it is a methyl group. Fourth rule, combine the longest chain and the substituent into the root name. What is the root name we have? Root name what we have is the butane, right? That's the longest chain. And you have to combine your numbering and the side chain, right? So it is at second position, and the name is methyl, so it is going to be 2-methyl. So the name of the compound, the example we are looking at is 2-methyl butane. So that is how you name it. And now the question is like, what if a second group is attached here? What if a second methyl group is attached here? What if a second group attached at a different position, right? What if a second methyl group is attached to the second position? And what if this is not a methyl group? If it is ethyl group, how do you name that? So we have a fifth rule. It says combine the longest chain and substituent into the root name. So we have gone through this. The fifth rule, it says indicate the number and position of the substituent. So if we have different substituents, if you have a second substituent of the same group, second substituent like methyl, like ethyl. So we give the prefix di, dash, then if there are 3 tri, if there are 4 tetra, if there are 5 penta, like this we name them, right? So we give them separate numbers. Suppose methyl group is there in the second position. So this is 1, this is 2, right? You have to say that like 2-methyl. You have to name it twice, 2-methyl and 2-methyl and 2-methyl. But you are not writing in the numbering like this, what you write, how you write is 2,2-dimethyl, 2,2-dimethyl. Okay, we will see that in the next slide. And we have to separate the number and the letter with the hyphen, right, or one with the dash. So we will see that in this example. So here, first thing is to name the longest chain. This is the longest chain. So this is the longest chain. So how many carbons are there? There are 5 carbons. So we have to name that as pentane, right? Then you have to number these. So are you numbering from this side or this side? If we number from this side, right, it is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If we number, right, if we number from the other side, this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the rule is the substituent attached should have the lowest number, but in this case, this compound is symmetrical. This compound is symmetrical. You can number from any side, either side. From either side, the methyl group will get the second position. The methyl group will get the second position. Here also second position. Here also second position. So it doesn't matter. So if we will take example the one which is numbered over here already. So it has got 2 methyl groups, right? 2 methyl. So that's why we call that as dimethyl. And those methyl groups are attached at position 2 and position 4. 2 and 4. So 2, 4 dimethyl, and between 2 and 4 you have to give the comma, and between number and letter you have to give the hyphen. So the compound is 2,4-dimethyl pentane. All right, let's take another example where there we saw with the 2 methyl groups. So here we are going to deal with this compound. It has got 1 methyl group and 1 ethyl group. This is ethyl group, right? Now let's try to number these. Are you going to number from this side or this side? First of all, what is the compound? What is the parent name? So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 carbons in the straight chain, so we call that as octane. Then let's try to number this. So it is already numbered from this side, 1 to 8, right? Let's also number from this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3 and this is 4. This is 5, right? 1, 2, 3. This is 4 and this is 5. This is 6. This is 7 and this is 8. Now we have to choose the numbering which covers the group one with the lowest number. So the group which is attached, the first group we are trying to name, it should have the lowest number. So from here the methyl group is at third position, and this is at ethyl group at fifth position. If we come from this side, the ethyl group is at fifth position. Ethyl group is at fifth position, and this is at third position. Actually, in this also you can go from either side, right? It's also kind of by numbering it is kind of symmetrical. Right now we will take the one which is numbered here already. So we are naming this, so it is, we already know it is octane, right? And at the third position we have methyl group, and at the fifth position we have ethyl group, right? It is 5 ethyl 3 methyl octane. And the question is, why can't it be like 3 methyl? Why can't we put this methyl here and ethyl here? Why can't it be like 3 methyl 5 ethyl octane? So you cannot name like that, because you have to put these side chains in alphabetical order. The first letter, considering the first letter of these groups, they should be in alphabetical order. So here ethyl comes first, then the methyl group. That's why the naming is 5-ethyl 3-methyl octane. So 5-ethyl 3-methyl octane. So that's how you name that. And let's go with the few examples here. So let's try to name this. So how many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So it is butane, right? Let's try to number this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And also number from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you see that substituents are at 2 and 3 position, and that 2 and 3 position is going to be same. Either you do it from this side or this side. We can take either one of them, but in this example we have taken it like from this side. So it is going to be 2-bromo. Bromo group is attached at second position, 2-bromo, and chloro group is attached at third position, 3-chloro butane, right? And between number and letters you have to put the hyphen. So it is 2-bromo 3-chlorobutane. Let's go with the second example. Let's try to name the longest chain here. How many number of carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbon. So the compound is a heptane. The parent or the root name is heptane. And let's try to number this from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And also number from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So from this also, the first group it is at 3 position. Either from this side also, the first group is at third position. It doesn't matter which way you go, but in this example, we are trying to name it from this side. So it is at third position you have it is named from this side. It is named from this side, considering these numbers. So at third position you have ethyl group, and at fifth position you have methyl group. At fifth position you have methyl group. That's why it is 3-ethyl 3-ethyl 5-methyl heptane, right? Let's go with this example. Let's try to name the longest chain. So how many number of carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. So it is hexane. Parent or root name is hexane. And let's try to number this from this side first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also number from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. The first group should be attached to the lowest number. Here, in this case, the carbon, the first one, it comes with the number 5. The first group, the methyl group, comes with the number 5. So in this case, let's see, numbering from this side. So 1, 2, 3. So here the numbering, the methyl group is attached at the second position. Here at fifth position, right? Here at second. So here at third position actually. Here at third position, we have to consider either this or this. Right? We have to. These are the ones we can consider, but in this we have to consider this because here methyl group is attached at the second position. Here methyl group is attached at the third position. That's why we will take this. So it is the name of the compound is 2, and then fourth position also methyl. So methyl group is here twice. That's why it is dimethyl hexane. 2 comma 4 dash dimethyl hexane. And the next one, let's try to name the longest chain. So it is 1 carbon, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the name of the parent compound, it is heptane. Root name or parent name is heptane. Then let's try to number this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's number from this side: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can guess which one we have to consider. So here the first group, the lowest number, the group is attached is number 2, and here the group attached is number 3. Two groups are attached to number 3, so here it comes 3. So we have to number this from this side, considering methyl group at second position. You see here methyl group given second position, right? So we are naming this like 5-ethyl to the fifth position. Ethyl group is attached, right? 5-ethyl, and again to the fifth group methyl group is attached, and to the second carbon, again methyl group is attached. So there are 2 methyl groups, that's why it is dimethyl heptane. So it is 5-ethyl 2 comma 5 dimethyl heptane. That is how you name that, right? These are the 4 examples I have discussed here, and I have given 4 more examples for you to write in the notes. While writing notes today, you write these names for the structures that is given in the notes. I'm going to update that with the answer in another 2-3 days, right? And you can check your answer on that. And this is how you name the alkanes. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, and let me know if you have any questions. Anybody got any questions?